Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jules Anyway here, and before you go any further in this video, please go like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, please turn your notification bell on to be notified when I do future posts. For content information, I do a lot of beauty related content here, like hair, makeup, and I may throw a bit of fashion here and there. Stay tuned. Colorful eye, wing line, kind of ombre effects on my Instagram, so you can definitely go and check that out. I'll firstly be going with my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream as my moisturizer. Next thing I'll be going in with is my farsali, and this primer does dry powdery. Taking my brush to just smooth that out. Taking my Lauder Mercier foundation in areas that I need it. Take my concealers, and I'm gonna go in with my Hourglass concealer first, and then my Jouer concealer. Now I'm going to take my brush and blend this all in. Starting with my foundation first. I take my Fenty matchstick. I'm going to warm it up on the back of my hand first. And then I'm going to place that here. I don't usually cream contour, but boy, I think I went in with too much. So we're gonna blend this out nevertheless. Taking a smaller brush. Ain't gonna lie, at first I was very stressed about that contour being too harsh. I'm gonna take the same brush and pat out my concealer. Think, comment down below. Have you guys ever tried Tailormade Jane's foundation or face routine? Let me know. You guys think it's crazy, or have you guys tried it and feel like it's lightweight? It's not too much product added to the face, more lightweight, because at least it's not so much layers on top of layers on top of layers. But to be honest, I don't know if I would use this as my regular routine as yet, but I did want to try this out. But you guys can definitely comment down below. To be honest, after using this method, I don't feel like I need to go in with another layer of anything. I feel like I have maximum coverage, and right now I'm just gonna powder up my face in my concealed areas. Shade. So this is my Fenty Beauty powder, and I'm gonna take, and this shade is in Cashew. I usually have a clean sponge, but not today. Well, I do have clean sponges, but I do prefer to have them a bit damp. Usually, because I take my Fenty Beauty cream contour, it usually dries at a powdery finish. So usually I do not go in with any other powders to put on top. But for just because we're doing a Tailormade Jane version, I'm going to take a powder or a bronzer now. I'm going to go in with my shade Coco Naughty, and I'm going to take this powder and bronze up my face. This brush is from HMB Cosmetics. And this coconut for me is like more of a subtle bronzing powder for a natural face beat. I don't like too much of a bold bronze or a bold contour. I prefer more of a subtle, simple and effective type of vibe. In with my usual powder, and this powder is my Too Faced powder in the shade Chai. I use this to set the whole of my face in place. And this is a multi-use powder, so it does have full coverage on it as well. I usually always go in with blush, but I'm gonna take my HMB blush, and this is how the color looks like, and this is in the shade Finishing. Blush is very pigmented, using the same brush and just packing that on. I'm gonna mix my two Juvia's Place highlighters from Royalty 1 and Royalty 2 together. And then we're just gonna go in with that. This highlight is very pigmented and blinding at the same time. Look at that. Getting this highlight on my nose also. And I'm now gonna do the bottom lash line on camera for you guys. Just taking the same shades from my Be Perfect's palette and just doing the same thing on the bottom. And I went into the shades Nuke and Funky if you do own this palette. In my waterline, I want to go in with Blank Canvas from P. Louise, just to open up my eyes. And there we go, and that is looking like a maze ball. For today, I'll be going in with my Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara, and this is the only mascara that I own right now. So if you do see it a lot in my videos, please excuse me. Lips, I'm gonna take my Fenty Beauty Underdawg for lipstick just to brighten it up. Usually I go in with a nude because my eyes are usually bright, so I go in with a nude lipstick. But for today, I'm just gonna go change it up. feel like I want to lighten up the middle just a tad bit, so I'm gonna go in with, I'm currently taking my Fenty Beauty in Unbutton to lighten up the center of the lip. That is beautiful. If y'all didn't know, Fenty has one of the top 2 liquid lipsticks in my opinion. So it's either between the top 2. So it's either between Fenty Beauty for me and Dose of Colors with the liquid lipsticks. Because when I mean it is full coverage, it is a lightweight, it is stunning. I mean, it is stunning, as you can see right here. You should at least own one of them. And if you are a vampy girl, I'll definitely tell you to go in with the Underdawg. I don't know if this was a limited edition, but you can definitely check in stores if they have this one, because this one is for dark skin. Well, all of them is dark skin friendly, but with this one, you do not need to apply any liner or anything to enhance it, or do apply and that's it. And obviously, if you want to lighten it up as I did, you can always either take a concealer if you want to, or a lighter, or you can also purchase on Veil, because this is like a brownie type. But I'll be doing a whole Fenty lipstick swatch in the future, so you can definitely have a feel and different ways I would wear it. But this look so far, I am loving it. Let me pop some earrings in, which is my all-time favorite earring. I'll pop that in and be right now. So guys, this is the finishing look. How do you guys feel about this finishing look? Comment down below if you guys would rock this, if you are a bold chica like myself. You can definitely go check out my Instagram at _JEWLZ for bright, bold look ideas. But you'll definitely be seeing more bright looks on my YouTube channel in the future. So I just definitely want to know down below if you guys do love this combo. You can always tell me down below if you enjoyed me doing this look. If you guys have any look that you have in mind that you would like me to recreate, please let me know. Also, I did get a comment on my Instagram, and someone asked me what's the best way to make sure your foundation lasts. Basically, skin prep is the main and most important thing before you apply any makeup at all. So you definitely need a good skincare. But for me, I use the brand called Yes To, and I do purchase it from Beauty Bay. For me, this brand is very affordable. I do not have all the products with me now, but this is how the brand look if you do want an idea of how it looks. I do see good results with them because I do have dark spots on my chin and a little bit on my neck, because one main reason is because I do rest my dirty hands on my face when I'm relaxed, etc. You know, like some people have a habit of picking their faces when they're thinking or whatever the case may be. I do like to rest my dirty hands, and everyone knows like in the palm of your hand is always dirty. That's why you have to make sure you do cleanse it properly, especially in this dynamic that we're in right now. Always make sure that your palms are freshly washed. But I do like to rest my thing, so then I do develop a lot of spots on my face. Well, this part of my face, especially my chin, etc. So I do see that these products do clear up my face from this brand I own. And you can definitely check it out on Beauty Bay. They do sell it, and for me it's very reasonable, and a lot of times they do have 20% off their products on Beauty Bay. when it comes to this brand. I'm not sure with other brands, but I do know with Yes To they do have 20% off a lot of times on this. Also, another way to prep your face before you start is basically, I don't want to get too much into moisturizing because I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with me. I do not usually moisturize my face because I have extremely oily skin, and I personally did not believe in the moisturizing before putting foundation on, because I prefer a fully matte face, so I'll quickly wash my face and then immediately put makeup on, and knowing well that would last me a whole complete day. Usually when I do apply makeup on, I usually have it on from 8 a.m., which is the time I leave my house to drop my daughter to school, and then I have work, and most times I finish work at 11 p.m., 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. in the morning. So you can definitely tell from that the longevity wear of my foundation. So the amount of foundation that I put on with the amount of powders that I put on, it does hold up the whole day. So if you guys would definitely try out how I do my makeup, you can definitely see a change longevity wise of how you do your makeup, etc. And a next thought could be investing in good products. I've definitely just started on skincare still. I have just started using the Charlotte Tilbury one, and I've heard really good reviews on that one. I have not heard any bad reviews at all on that product. And that is this baby right here. Now with this moisturizer, it's called the Magic Cream Instant Moisturizing Hydrating. Basically it's a hydrating moisturizer, but I cannot tell you if it holds up in humidity, because if you live in the UK or anything, you know the climate changes like a mood swing. So we have not experienced heat like that, and even though we're experiencing a bit of warm weather right now, we're not able to go outside for me to test it longevity wise or go to work sweat up, etc. Because you know, even though with my job it's always a hands-on job, and I can tell you, and my clients can definitely vouch for me on how long my makeup lasts. Because say for instance I have my last client at 6 or 7 p.m. and I'm doing braids, I sweat a lot. So if I'm doing hair, I'm bound to sweat, especially in this area right here, sweat a lot. So, and they would be like to me, oh, have you just literally applied makeup? And I was like, no, I had this on from 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning, depending on what time my daughter starts school. Because some mornings she has club, some mornings thingy is normal day where she starts at 9 a.m. So it depends. But it definitely does hold up very long for me. I'm going to give you more updates on this hydrating moisturizer once or if this dynamic ends soon while there's sun in the UK. Because if anyone has visited the UK or lives in the UK, know that this weather changes like mood swings. On a serious note, like you go outside dressed all warm in your batty rider or your shorts, and by the time you turn the corner it's basically winter again. So I'll definitely give you updates on that. Okay, another thing to invest in is good long-lasting foundations and primers also. So the first thing I'll tell you about is primers. Good primers for oily skin. Some good primers that you must invest in, especially for oily skin girls. The Elf Poreless Putty Primer, and this primer is the original version. This primer, I tell you, the first day I wore this, I could not believe this primer cost me £8. Like, when I say longevity wise, this lasts for me like no other. And for the price point, you definitely have to invest. This is my top number. You'll definitely see me use this a lot. I really a lot in most of my videos. You will definitely see me use this primer, especially that I don't really want to use my high-end primers just to make videos to take off my makeup. But this one, otherwise, it really holds up your foundation and gives you a flawless finish. The next primer that I do want to talk about is, okay, the next two primers I would love to talk about is my Fenty Beauty primers. These primers are a really good investment. Now, this is the original one. I do love the original one. This is like my second purchase on this one. And you can definitely see how it is finishing. And I definitely need to purchase another one. But for now, I'm holding off with spending. The next one is the mattifying one. This one is a really good primer to hold up foundation, and longevity wise it is really good. I have tried this in humidity and it does keep your makeup at bay. And as I said, this is the matte version and this is the soft matte version. You can definitely identify it with the color difference. You can definitely see this is more of a cream base and this is more white. Now with this one, you definitely have to make sure that this is set on your face for at least 5 minutes before applying with foundation. Usually where I'm rushing, applied this, then tried to put my foundation on top and it was slippery sliding, like it was not holding up at all. So I would recommend you to let this sit on the face for at least 5 minutes before applying any foundation on top or any other product on top of it. But otherwise this is a very good primer to invest in. My next primer would be this Tatcha silk canvas, and this is a mini version. Now you see how small this is. I do not want to even mention the price point but you know what, I will mention it because it is worth every penny. But I can't really 100% say so as yet because I have not tried it yet in humidity. But people on YouTube, on Instagram can vouch that it is a dupe for this. And if I love this primer gone to my bed, then you know this one is well worth it. And I think this one will cost £45 on London Loves Beauty. So you can purchase this from London Loves Beauty. And the only reason why it's £45 on it is because they do include taxes and VAT, etc. on their products. Otherwise, the first one, or the original size, is costs £78 from this site. And in the US, it's costs $56 if I'm not mistaken. But if you do have a family member that can send you over these products, then you can definitely do so. Otherwise, this is a dupe for £8. I don't know how much in dollars. It probably $5 or $8. I'm not sure, but this is definitely £8. These primers are £24 if I'm not mistaken. This primer that I have not seen a lot of reviews on, but I was introduced by a lovely friend who lives in Vegas, but she was in the UK on vacation. She had introduced me to this primer. So this is Hangover, Too Faced Hangover Prime Set and Refresh. So it's a 3-in-1. And trust me when I tell you, apply this on your face first, you'll feel the tightness. I have not tried this in humidity yet because it's just a recent purchase, but I'll definitely get back to you on this. But I can tell you, when you spray this, only spray 2 times, the maximum 2 times, because you can feel every oil sucked up. Literally good primer. Okay. For some good foundations for oily skin, I would from drugstore first, I would recommend my e.l.f. foundation. Now this foundation is full coverage, it is long lasting, and how can you beat £7.50 with pricing? And if I didn't mention, this is definitely oil free, long lasting, perfect color. Love it. Love this foundation dearly. I really love this foundation dearly. And I'm in the shade Coco in this foundation. The next foundation would be my Born to Glow foundation, and this is from NYX. Now, even though it says Born to Glow, it comes off as a semi-matte finish for me. Now, I'm in the shade Cappuccino, and for me, this foundation is one of my top three foundations. The next foundation is my Juvia's Place foundation, and this foundation is full coverage. I am in the shade Burkina, or other known as 310, and it is full coverage, long lasting, etc. The only con about this, it does feel heavy on the face, so a little bit goes a long way. You just need a pea size and you're set. There's another one that I really and truly love, which is a NYX, it's from NYX Cosmetics, and it's called Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and I'm in the shade Cappuccino in that one also, and that one is full coverage, long wearing. It is very matte, so it does feel tight on the skin, but once you wear that with a good mid-range primer, or even if you combine it with this, it will definitely be perfect, feel perfect on the skin. It's not heavy. It's not as heavy as this. It's not heavy at all. Compared to this is one of the heaviest foundation I own. And this one does remind me of the Huda Beauty foundation. Now, this foundation, I would recommend. It is a high-end foundation. This foundation does price at $20. And I've purchased this from the Juvia's Place website. But if you do not want to pay customs in the UK, I would not recommend you to purchase it at all. It's not really worth it if you're just buying this. But if you're buying several things, then you can definitely know you're getting a high bill on customs. That's for sure. This foundation is definitely priced at £10. Okay, back to the Huda Beauty foundation now. This foundation is full coverage. It is heavy on the skin, but it lasts all day. It is full coverage, sweat proof, everything. It just like, oh, and a next con is that it is perfume scented. If you have sensitive skin, I would not recommend this foundation at all. But otherwise, it's a beautiful foundation, beautiful finish, everything. Yeah, this is a really good one. The next foundation, which I love and would recommend, is the Laura Mercier foundation. Now, this is a recent purchase, but from my face today, you can definitely tell that it has a beautiful finish. It is a matte foundation. It does not feel heavy. You don't feel like you have any product on your face. Believe me, it does not feel like you have any product on your face. And this is in the shade Nutmeg. It comes off a bit orange on me, but on camera it looks perfect, but in real life it looks a little bit orange, just a tad bit, but you can always correct that with concealer. The next foundation, which is my #1 foundation, is this foundation. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation. This foundation is an OG foundation. Everyone and their mom and the grandma should know about this foundation. And I'm in the shade Sandlewood, also known as SW1. It is full coverage, lightweight, and perfect shade. When I say this is sweat proof, I mean this is sweat proof. Once you have found your perfect shade in this, you do not want to depart from it. I recommend this to a lot of my clients, and I do use this. I do have one. Another one is my NARS. I would recommend this if you prefer a glowy skin. The only con about this foundation, which I do not like, it does not last on me. It does not last on me, but it is perfect shade, beautiful finish. I want to say that an excellent finish, but it does not last. I've tried it with all my primers, but for some reason, and I've tried this in humidity several times, it does not last. But the only reason why I am recommending it, even if you want to mix it with your drugstore, you can mix it, because this finish foundation is amazing. And this shade, I'm in the shade Macao. And I would mix this foundation with any of my top foundation, which is either the Estee Lauder I'd mix it with, or my Charlotte Tilbury I'd mix it with, or I would mix it with this. The finish on this though is amazing. I would still repurchase it. The only thing, I would not wear this on its own. I cannot wear it on its own, but trust me, it is the finish. You'll definitely see a lot of beauty gurus use this, and you would definitely fall in love. And this is my only NARS product that I own. The next foundation would be my Fenty Beauty foundation. If I were to choose any brand that I love to the core, would be Fenty Beauty. And anyone who's on my Instagram or coming from my Instagram would definitely know I purchase a lot of Fenty Beauty products, and I'm a big fan. But this foundation, I have tried this foundation, and this shade is 420. When I first purchased it, I thought this would be my perfect match, but I noticed every time I take a picture, it comes off more on the yellow side. If I apply it right now, it looks beautiful, but if I were to use my back camera or take a flash photo, it definitely comes off a tad bit like 2 hairs to looking like as if it's too light, if that makes any sense. So I do not have my perfect shade in this foundation, but longevity wise, baby, it will last you a long time. Now you have the Hydro foundation from Fenty. I do love the finish of it. This finish kind of reminds me of the NARS. If I'm not mistaken, it does remind me of the NARS. But this foundation, if I want longevity wise, I have to mix it. I have to mix it with another foundation. It reminds me of this, and these are my least favorites only because it is not long lasting on me. Now, as I said way in most of my videos, not because something works for me means it's gonna work for you. There's a couple more, but I do not personally own that right now. There are in my kit. And another brand or two that I would recommend is the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. That foundation, and beautiful finish, longevity wise, etc. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but in upcoming videos I will repurchase one when this dynamic is over. A perfect match. And foundations that I've shown you today, I'll definitely show you the ones or my top favorite or my go-to foundations. And Charlotte Tilbury. The only con though, but I forgot to tell you, the only con about this is not my exact shade. It's a bit warm, but you can definitely, by the time you put your concealer on, you're set, good to go. It either comes in 35 shades or 50 shades, if I'm not mistaken. But I did not try this in store. I just purchased it online. So I don't know if you guys would have any luck if you'd like to purchase this by going in store to try it out. So I definitely recommend Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade 14 Neutral. And for a neutral shade, it comes off very warm, which I find very strange. But Charlotte Tilbury, Estee Lauder Double Wear. Laura Mercier, Huda Beauty. But yeah, and I forgot about this. This one is becoming my favorite foundation, but I didn't want to be using it too much. I don't like to be using my high-end foundation too much to do a video and wipe off, because that is money. Most of this is costing £34 in between or less. So you may not see me use them all the time like I would use my drugstores. But this foundation is one perfect. Oh yeah, this is in the shade Chai. I do own this one as well in the shade Chai, but I don't feel like this lasts long on me, on my oily skin. But as I said, if it doesn't last longevity wise, I can always mix it with a matte foundation. But I definitely, this baby was recommended my friend from Vegas, and baby, When I tell you longevity wise, it is there. Coverage, it is there. This is beautiful, and a little goes a long way. So once again, foundations that I would recommend that you don't really need to tweak is these foundations right here. So that's the Too Faced Peach Perfect in the shade Chai, Huda Beauty. This is the shade Mocha 500G, Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Sandlewood. And this does oxidize a little bit, just a tad bit, but make sure you try it and go around in the store and thingy. Laura Mercier, and this is in the shade Nutmeg. And once again, Charlotte Tilbury. Those are my high-end foundations that I would 1000% recommend without you needing to tweak it without tweaking it too much, if that makes sense. Now, these foundations are my top drugstore foundations. My top drugstore foundations would be these babies. This is the NYX Born to Glow once again, the Juvia's Place, and the Elf foundation. These are the drugstores. £10, $20, £7.50. This is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys did like it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe again. And for future videos, please let me know down below what you guys would love to see from me in the future. So next time, please stay safe once again and enjoy your time at home while you can, and use this as your rest period or a time to reflect or a time to enhance your skills in whatever you do. Use it time wisely, because time is something that we cannot get back. And if you ask me, the days are moving pretty too quick, if you ask me. But until next time, bye.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.